Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a new round of the Drivers Room Sunday League, Season 3, Round 7. So we're closing in on the end of Season 3, Tier 1, and today we're running the Toyota SFR Racing Concept around Spa. And yeah, back to the 30-minute format after the 1 hour race we had last time around. And yeah, this is a very interesting car to drive on a very interesting track. So let's see where everyone qualified and send these racers off, shall we? All right, here we are at the grid. So let's see where everyone qualified today and get these racers going. In P1, we have Too Fast, as always, with I think 120 extra kilos in the car. We have the Biscuit Licker Mung with us today as well. This is his choice. In P3, we have Dellers. P4, we have Scruffy, the janitor, or Giclaren, in Pikachu. Mr. Driver's Room himself in P5. We have Milankovic in P6. And we have Jim Clark there in P7. We have Grimlock in the Denso livery in P8. And Panthro finishing off the grid in the back. So, yeah, let's see how this race goes. All right, here we are, waiting for 5 lights to go dark. We're off around 7 of Season 3, as it looks like a very good start there for Michael as he goes right into lead, even with a heavier car than usual. And we have Mung on the outside into turn 1 with Dowlers there on the inside as they go down to, I think, Eau Rouge. Track corner names always confuse me, even on Spa, as we see them going up the chicane into the start-finish straight. No, the straight, not the start-finish straight. I've been smoking a lot of dope, but not really. As we see a 4 wide on the straight there with, a little lagginess, but otherwise good. Michael just running away with it as usual, as we see Mung there in P2 and the Jaguar livery. It's been a good clean start, and Mung is definitely keeping pace, and these cars do not have a onboard view or a cockpit, so there will be no onboard views today. Very slidey for a lot of them. This car is a little temperamental if you slam the throttle a little too much, and it will kick out on you. It will bite. But it seems like the extra kilos isn't really slowing Michael down by any means. McLaren, I think, has 200 kilograms extra. So he's gonna struggle the most, as we see Dowler's there. Oh, completely missing his braking point and going straight into the bus stop as we see lap 2 is starting there. As we see Jim Clark has moved himself now up into P3, going into the turn 1 and easily making a move past Scruffy. Taking the chase up to P2 as we see Dowler's now down at P5, P6 there for Grim. We have 7 for Milankovic, and Panthro up into P8. Mercer struggling a little bit. As we go down the main straight again. Jim Clark with a half-second penalty. We have a second penalty there for Scruffy, so they've been wide in the uphill chicane. I think La Source or Radion. I really don't remember the corner names of Spa. As we see the top 4 now coming down the downhill straight. As we see Dowlers, we have Grim, we have Milkovic, Panthro, Mercer, all in the train, following Dowlers. Mung should be safe, at least for a few more laps as he takes up the chase to Michael. McLaren and Jim Clark will have to slow down, or be forced to slow down. As Pikachu is going to try and take up the battle again to Jim Clark. There's a few people now tonight with some extra weight, as we see Panthro going very wide. Let's hope there's no penalty slapped on his rear for that. As we see Grim with Milkovic. Panthro was lucky not to get a penalty from that. As they go on to start lap 3. We have Milankovic closing in on Grim. But too far behind on the straight. These cars are surprisingly loud for what they are. As you see Jim Clark in P3, we have Mung with a second penalty now. So yeah, very easy to get these penalties. Spa is like Le Mans, where you cut too wide, you get slapped on the rear with a penalty. You exist, you get slapped with a penalty on Spa and Le Mans. So Mung is definitely going to drop down to Jim Clark and Scruffy, as we see Jim Clark with another half-second penalty. And from what I understand, Jim Clark is actually in VR, so that's going to be interesting for him to drive around with no cockpit view. Scruffy closing in now. Gonna be dangerous to Jim. As we see him going on the inside, moving himself up into P3. chasing down Aftermung with 200 extra kilos on his car. McLaren, as he misses the braking point into the bus stop chicane and falls right down to P4 as we see Jim Clark drifting through that final corner. Dowlers then, still a little gap down to Grimm and Milankovic. Starting lap 4. Mercer. Struggling a little bit tonight, Mercer. Let's see Pantro very close to Milankovic. Showing himself in the mirror. And could be attempting a move. As we see Milankovic just slamming into the rear of Grimm there. Missing his braking point completely. And Grimm still not affected. And keeps going. So Grimm still in P6 with Pantro following closely behind. Milankovic there in 8 now. I think Pantro really wants to get past Grimm. As we know, not the easiest job in the world to get past Grimlock. As we see Mercer serving a half-second penalty in the back. So losing a bit of ground up to his competitors. As we see Milankovic really on Pantro's heels as Pantro goes very wide. And gets himself a half-second penalty for his troubles. Dowlers in no man's land, but trying to catch up to McLaren. As we see Pantro, he's going to be feeling the pressure now, as he has a half-second penalty to serve. Oh, very slidey. Still keeping it under control, still following Grimm, as we see Milankovic has dropped off a little bit as they go into the chicane. And I think Pantro got a little caught up, car out by the braking. And had to swerve. Scruffy then. Not able to close in on his competitors in front, as we see the rear tire is really, well, his tires in general are taking a heavy beating compared to his competitors in front, as we see Mung with a 2.5 penalty. So, been out a little too much from the track limits. We see Jim Clark in P2 now with a half-second penalty. And Michael has just ran away with it. So even with some extra ballast, nothing seems to stop too fast. As we see Jim Clark very wide drifting. As they both serve their penalties at the same time, Jim Clark gets moving faster, as we see Scruffy now closing in on Mung. Mung dropped and bled a lot of speed. Scruffy now up into P3. As the little Pikachu mobile is going to try and take up the hunt to Jim Clark. Pika! I couldn't help myself. I don't like Pokemon, but yeah, Pikachu is known around the world. Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu in Detective Pikachu was hilarious as hell. As we see Scruffy then struggling to get enough speed down the straight. We have Mung right up in his heels. Scruffy struggling with grip. Panda Express's janitor struggling to keep third, as he's just drifting and sliding through every single corner he's going through right now. Mung right up the gearbox alley of McLaren. We have Dollars as well joining in on the fight. As we see Jim Clark going very wide as well. Let's hope that's not a penalty. But the battle for third is definitely on. Mung is just trying to find a way through. He lost a little bit of ground as we see Jim Clark going very slidey, very drift kingy. What is this, Jim Clark? Is this like a drifting championship for you? As Scruffy now moves himself up into P2, we have Mung there in P3. We have Dollars still in P5 with Jim Clark now down in P4 as we see Too Fast into the pits already at the end of lap 6. Tires are not looking that bad, to be honest. As we see Scruffy also opting to go into the pits. We have Dollars also into the pits as Mung and Jim Clark stays out for another lap. And Jim is just drifting everywhere, so we gotta pay attention to him a little bit again soon, as we see Grim there in P3 with Milinkovic in P4. We have Mercer, Dowlers, Panthro, Too Fast, McLaren, and then Dowlers into the pits. As we see Mung has gotten himself a decent gap down to Clark now. Jim is running out of fuel. Let's see, but Mung is keeping his fuel a little bit more in the tank. Jim Clark has used a bit more, probably revving the balls out of that thing. As we see Grim still trying to keep himself in front of Milinkovic. Milinkovic with a move on Grim. Better exit out of that left-hander. He will lose the position to Grim though in the penalty line, I think. And he's already lost the position to Grim. Grim taking it back. Milinkovic going a little too wide in that left-hander. see Mung still able to stay in front there. We have Michael out on a new set of Sport Soft. We have Giclaren on a new set of Sport Soft. I think everyone's going to opt for the fastest tire. As we see Giclaren just drifting almost through the big left-hander. And Dowler's then doing whatever he can to get further up the field. As we see Mung and Jim Clark now into the pits. We have Panthro there in P8 and Mercer in P9. Mung then still waiting to get into the pit box. We have Michael coming through. So we see Scruffy there and Dowlers. Planet Express's janitor is doing well despite the handicap of 200 extra kilos. As we see Giclaren coming out just in front of Mung, and Mung should start taking up the fight to Speedy Sweetie. Dowler's in P4, so he's not able to keep up the same pace at the moment, but he should be able to get closer once these two start fighting. Jim Clark in P5 then, as Jim Clark is just drifting again. Oh, almost out in the gravel. As we see Grim there in P6 being chased down by Panthro. Jim Clark with a half-second penalty, overextending. Milinkovic following this gang of drivers. We have Mercer there in P9. Very difficult race for Mercer. As we see Scruffy now under attack from the biscuit licker himself. Don't tell anyone, but Kim has stolen all of his biscuits from his safe. His safe is not really that safe. I think Kim needs to run. He's also taking Mung's beer. Oh, as we see Scruffy going very wide, that could be a penalty. As we see a half-second penalty getting slapped on Clarence rear there, and Mung must be feeling very good now, as he's going to be able to try and overtake Giclaren down the main straight and moves himself up into P2. Giclaren having a very hard time of getting that car under control. I mean, 200 extra kilos slapped on that car is definitely not doing the SFR any favors. It is a light car. As we see Mung now trying to increase the gap between him and Clarence. We have Dowlers and Jim Clark also closing in. Dowlers is definitely going to be a lot closer after Scruffy serves his penalty. We see Jim Clark with a half-second penalty as well. So he's not going to close in on Dowlers too much. He's going to lose a second because of that penalty. So we see Dowlers slightly drifting there. We have Jim Clark also slightly drifting through the big left-hander. Clarence now is going to lose the position to Dowlers potentially. The speed drop is gonna be significant. Oh, maybe not. Dowlers messing up in a few corners before the penalty line. He's closing in, he's closing in. This could be a potential move for Dowlers soon, as he is right up the pipes of Clarence's car. Could look for a move on the inside into turn one there, Dowlers. As it seems like it has worked, and Dowlers just catapults his car into P3 and is going to try and take up the battle to Mung in P2. But Clarence still chasing down after Dowlers. Still wants that podium. Pikachu is not done. Oh, as we see Pikachu go wide! Had to completely avoid... Oh, and gets reset. Oh, no. He had to avoid Dowlers and swerved to avoid and got reset. I don't think Scruffy's going to be very happy with that, but what can he do? And Clarence has got a lot of work to try and catch up to Jim Clark. Salvage P4. As we see Grim just being a cork in the bottle right now. We have Panthro, we have Milinkovic, and we have Mercer right behind. As we see Panthro going for a move on the inside into the big lefty. Grim is able to hold him off. Pack of hungry wolves now behind Grim. Grim really struggling to keep this pace. We have Mercer with a second penalty. We have Panthro with a half-second penalty. They're going to drop off now. Milinkovic just driving right through Mercer and passing Panthro as well. He's going to try and take up the battle to Grim. As we see Jim now closing in on Dowlers and Mung. Dowlers has closed in a lot on Mr. Biscuit Liquor. As he's going to try and take away P2 from Mung. Nothing can be done by with Michael at the moment, so he's just long gone. Mung will have to defend on the straight. Dowlers going on the inside. Will he make the move before the chicane? And Mung covers him off on the outside. We have Jim Clark there closing in on the back as well. Once in on this battle, as we see Dollars moving himself up into P2, we have Jim Clark there in P3, Mung all the way down now in P4. As they almost form an arrow going down that right-hander. As we see Jim Clark now just moving himself up into P2. Good, strong battle there from Jim. Taking advantage of the little chaos between Dollars and Mung. Mung going very power slidey and losing a lot of ground there up to Dollars. Dollars is going to try and take the fight now to Jim. Jim has to, as we say in Norway, keep his tongue straight in his mouth and just full focus now. Try and salvage and keep that P2. No mistakes now from Jim as he tries to defend his P2 position. But he has Mung and he has Dollars behind him. One slight mistake and it will be game over as we see Dollars very wide. Not wide enough for a penalty to be slapped as they go into the bust-up chicane now for the second to last time. Little slidey out of the chicane for all three of them. As we see Jim Clark over the line to start the final lap. As we see Dollars now into the inside, into turn one, taking the move up into P2, moving himself up there. We have Mung closing in as well. Looking for a kink in Jim's armor now. As we see Mung on the inside into that chicane and getting himself into P3. Question is, can he hold it? Jim Clark has proven himself to be fast. And Mung gets a second penalty for cutting a little too much on that chicane. And definitely going to lose P3 now to Jim. Unless Jim has a massive mistake. Oh, very wide there for Dollars as we see Jim Clark going on the inside now. We have Mung sliding. Dollars down in P4. We have Jim Clark now up into P3. This battle is far from over. Mung is definitely gonna lose P3 though. And probably be down in P4 because of that stupid 1 second penalty. But the battle for P2 has been amazing for the last few laps. As we see them going towards the penalty zone. Mung doesn't have a second. Unless these two make a really big mistake down the bust-up chicane. I don't think Mung is going to be able to salvage this as he slows down to a crawl. Will Mung be able to salvage anything here as he has dropped down to P4? We have Dollars now taking up the fight to Jim. Will they be able to take the bust-up chicane as we see congratulations to Too Fast as we see a very chaotic ending to the race there for Dollars as he drops down to P4 as we see Mung moving himself into P3. Good, strong battles there from the guys. Scruffy there in P5. We have Milkovic there in P6. Grim there in 7th. Mercer in 8th. And Panthro is gone. That's it for round 7, tier 1. Yeah, good, exciting finish there from the guys in Tier 1. Definitely a couple of chaotic last laps there from Mung, Dowlers, and Jim Clark, as they were all fighting for P2, P3. Um, yeah, let's hope there's no steward inquiries for the very last chicane there. That would be that would be a shame to see anyone lose their positions due to post-race penalties. But yeah, I don't think there has been reported anything, so the guys should be relatively safe. But yeah, that was Tier 1. Next up is the Tier 2 boys' turn. And yeah, let's see how it goes for them. Thank you all for watching, and see you in the next one.